Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Karen Lanoue from Attract More Now, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. Today we are going to talk about how to create boundaries without feeling like a jerk. Okay, so because that's sometimes the hardest thing when we're in business and or we have a job or we're running our own business. For some of us, creating boundaries means that, or not having boundaries means that people are taking advantage of us, that people are not treating us well, that they are it feels like they're disrespecting us. And so, and for us who are really trying to do the best that we can and be good people and just are generally nice people and heart-centered, right? Heart-centered and conscious business people, this gets really hard because we think, well, I want to do the best that I can, and for the company I'm working for or for my own business, and I want to do the same. I want to do really good things for my clients and my coworkers. And then all of a sudden we're finding ourselves getting, this is what's happened to me, but I also see this happen for people all the time where they're again getting treated badly, where they end up doing all the work, right? While other people are kind of off goofing around looking at Facebook or looking at, or they're on their computers and they're surfing on the internet, and they're not doing the tasks at hand. And so people are not getting served, or again, duties or tasks that need to be done are not getting done. In your business, sometimes what this looks like is that people are actually being really rude to you. You could have potential clients or customers that come up and they're rude to you, or even existing clients who are disrespecting your time. And it just feels awful because you're kind of sitting around waiting, wondering, where are these people? What's happening? What am I doing to deserve this, right? I'm just, again, trying to do the best that I can, and not having those boundaries it can really feel awful. So, and really, really terrible. And so this is one of the things that I advise my clients on all the time is you've got to start creating boundaries. Here's the thing, and this is something that I heard from Wayne Dyer years ago, is that we teach people how to treat us. And it is the absolute truth. We teach people how to treat us. And so what we want to do, and I'll give one little tip here today, is just to start saying, and this is one of the things you can do. There's quite a list of things that we can do, but one of the things you can start doing is start saying no. Okay, so when people ask you to do something, you start saying no, or if they're showing up, they're not on time for their appointments, you can tell them, it's like, you know what, this is, we had half an hour, we had an hour together, and now that's shortened by the time that you're actually not here. So you're actually just saying, hey, this is not cool for me. I'm running a business, and you can say it in that way, or you can just say, you know what, sorry that you couldn't make it on time. We still have another 20 minutes to go. So hey, that's great. Let's get in and get as much done as possible. For those other people who are at, when you're in a job and you're doing things and your coworkers are not doing things, is you can actually just say, no, you know what? Hey, I'm doing my part. I'm doing half of this, and going and tapping them on the shoulder and saying, hey, I've done my part here. Now it's your turn. So I'm actually not going to do all of this for us, and so I need you to help pitch in. So sometimes, again, for those of us who are not used to setting those boundaries, we kind of feel like a jerk, right? We feel like we shouldn't have to ask, or we feel like it just feels uncomfortable to do that. And so you want to start playing with this. You want to start saying no on a regular basis, and getting used to the whole thing, getting used to the whole feeling of what it is like to start to set those boundaries. I promise you, the world is not going to fall apart. Again, for myself, this used to happen to me all the time. I had no boundaries, and so whatever people asked, I would do. If they. This was before I actually had my business, but when I was on the job and such, I would do things. I would actually take over and just do everything, and everybody else would kind of go and not do their part. So when I started to, and then it also carried over in my personal life, and I think that you would find that too, is that in your personal life that people are consistently overstepping their boundaries or asking you or to do things or taking advantage of you. And so again, I know that this just feels really awful, but when you start to say no, when you start to say, hey, this is what I'll do, that's your part to do. And once you start getting used to it, you start feeling like less of a jerk, I promise you. And then it just becomes really natural and normal to not feel like a jerk at all. It just feels like, oh, yeah, I actually... I deserve to do my part and they deserve to do their part. Or I deserve to have my time respected, or I deserve to be talked to respectfully, right? I know so many people who are in the sales industry and or, well, just kind of most industries, but certainly sales industries, where people are very, very rude. And it's like, hey, you know what? I'm not taking that. No, that's not an acceptable way to speak to me. And so when you're calmed down or when you've shifted a little bit, I understand that you're unhappy, or I understand that you're not. You've got some challenges right here, but I am here to help you. And so when you have shifted your tone, I'd be happy to help you. And I know sometimes in some businesses that's not always possible. But what I would like you to do is, in general in life, is just start playing with that idea of saying no and just saying, that doesn't work for me, okay? And I promise you it does get easier over time. Now, on the flip side, what ends up happening, and the great thing about this is that once you start doing this, you actually people start to get to know, your coworkers start to get to know that they can't walk all over you, that and they start to respect you in a whole entirely different way. And it just gets so much easier in the fact that you don't have to keep putting up your boundaries and stating, yeah, this works for me, or this doesn't work for you. And then all of a sudden people start to understand, because what ends up happening is you put yourself in an entirely different energy, in an entirely different state. And when you do that, people pick up on that, okay? And then the same thing in your own business. When you start setting those boundaries and saying, hey, our appointment time starts and ends here, right? And so that works for me. Or, payment is due on this date. And if it's not, and I'm sorry, but if I don't receive payment, then what we need to do is, we can start next week, or we can, we can start, or we can start our appointment later on, but just, hey, I need you to make that payment, right? So again, you want to just start being able to say, hey, I'm kind of sticking up for myself here. I'm setting that boundary. I'm saying no to the things that don't work for me anymore. And again, as you practice this, things will start to shift and life becomes so much easier. And I say this from my own personal experience. Certainly in my own personal life, years and years ago, in my first marriage, that is one of the things, that was the biggest thing, is I had no boundaries. And so I would do everything for everybody, and I would just be Miss Little Whatever and bend over backwards to get everything done for people and, run around and clean stuff up. I don't do that anymore. Am I helpful to people? Yes, of course I am. But there's a give and take in all of this. And so, and then what ended up happening is I found somebody in my life who is absolutely wonderful to me, and we look after each other, right? We do wonderful things for each other on an ongoing basis. This also happens in your business. This happens in your work. When you do start to set those boundaries, people treat you in a whole different way. So as Wayne Dyer said, we teach people how to treat us. So teach people how to treat you really well. Start saying no. That's just one little simple thing that you can start doing today. All right, until next time, if you have any questions, please just type them in here. But just if you would like to talk about this, please just go to talkwithmeaboutthis.com and we can have a chat. So just set up a time and we can have a chat about this and how you could perhaps set some boundaries, or how I can help you actually in your business or in your work life in order to have more success in that area. So again, just go to talkwithmeaboutthis.com. All right, until next time, have a great day and go out there and do your magic. Bye-bye.